In an extremely heated congressional hearing, United States Attorney General Pamela Bondi faced a barrage of questions regarding the Jeffrey Epstein case, resulting in a contentious exchange where no quarter was given. Democrats accused her of a cover-up in the Epstein affair, while Bondi vehemently defended herself by presenting photographs of criminal migrants, asserting that the allegations were merely a distraction. It was a clash that many anticipated, including former United States President Donald Trump. He and his administration had reportedly attempted to prevent the release of the Epstein files, but Congress, with a bipartisan, veto-proof majority, compelled their disclosure. Jeffrey Epstein, a multimillionaire, operated an abuse ring for years, preying on numerous young women and minors within the highest echelons of society. Less than 2 weeks after the Justice Department released a significant portion of the investigative files concerning the convicted sexual offender online, Attorney General Bondi was summoned for questioning before the House Judiciary Committee. This was no minor event for Bondi. Her job potentially hung in the balance. Reports from the Wall Street Journal in January indicated that President Trump had privately expressed dissatisfaction with his Attorney General, labeling her as weak and ineffective. During the hearing, Democrats subjected the Republican official to a relentless crossfire of accusations and facts. Bondi, in turn, launched repeated aggressive counterattacks, at times resorting to personal remarks and frequently appearing to pander to the White House. She seemingly shifted gears to align with Donald Trump's internal sentiments, though at other moments she displayed an unusual collegiality. Meanwhile, President Trump was meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, but undoubtedly kept abreast of the hearing's developments. Bondi arrived equipped with a burn book, a full folder of documents from which she repeatedly extracted ammunition against Democrats displaying photos of criminal migrants in their electoral districts. She asserted multiple times, "This is why they want to talk about Epstein, to distract," adding that the public would see through the deception. Bondi's tactics mirrored those of President Trump. She accused others of the very behavior she exhibited, such as interrupting, shouting, and refusing to listen. At one point she declared, "This is not a circus," even as she staged her own theatrical performance. What unfolded was an often heated and undignified spectacle. The tone was set early on by Republican Chairman Jim Jordan and Democrat Jamie Raskin. Government party representatives focused on criminal migrants, while the opposition honed in on Epstein, his criminal network, and alleged failures of the Justice Department. A rather skewed comparison, according to observers. Bondi sat before the committee, attempting not to be overwhelmed. Mostly she failed, partly due to the presence of some of Epstein's victims in the room behind her, whose plights were repeatedly invoked by Democrats. When one representative demanded that Bondi turn around and apologize to the victims for the Justice Department's errors, she responded with further counterattacks. Last year, high-ranking Republicans had justified withholding the files by citing victim protection, yet the Justice Department now released the names of some victims, complete with phone numbers and postal addresses, despite requests to the contrary. In the same document, it initially redacted the name of a potential accomplice. Representative Jordan complained about cities offering sanctuary to undocumented migrants, claiming their non-cooperation with federal authorities necessitated the brutal tactics of immigration and customs enforcement and customs and border protection. He alleged this created the environment for the tragic deaths of Americans Renee Good and Alex Preddy. This assertion, however, downplays the facts, as both individuals were killed by law enforcement officers, with videos documenting the overt brutality in a Minnesota city. Representative Raskin accused Bondi of a massive Epstein cover-up within the Justice Department. He highlighted that only half of 6 million documents had been released, contending that the withheld content was not merely duplicates and that the release was far from complete, contrary to the department's claims. "You are running a massive Epstein cover-up right out of the Justice Department," Raskin charged. He noted that names of perpetrators and accomplices had been redacted, while those of victims had not. Many had kept their torment a secret, even from family and friends. Furthermore, Raskin claimed that Epstein's convicted accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, had been transferred from a high-security facility to a more lenient prison after assuring the Deputy Attorney General that she would not incriminate President Trump. "The president orders investigations like pizza, and they deliver every time," Raskin fumed. He asserted that Bondi had replaced genuine investigators with pliable cronies who robotically carried out the president's orders. Nothing in American history is comparable to this total corruption of justice and subversion of law enforcement agencies. Raskin meticulously presented detail after detail against Bondi. Yet, the questioning of the high-ranking witness also had its unintentionally comical moments. These included Bondi's seemingly adolescent insults toward Democrats, such as hypocrites and "I will not stoop to the gutter with these people." There were also the large printouts of document excerpts that were illegible from a distance, or when the Attorney General abruptly veered into an entirely unrelated eulogy for President Trump and the stock market, exclaiming, "The Dow has broken the 50,000-point mark. No one thought it was possible. That's what we should be talking about here." The customary claim that Trump was the greatest president in history was also not omitted. The questioning extended for several hours, making it clear that the Epstein files would likely continue to plague this administration for a long time. One Democrat from Chicago became so incensed that he forewent asking a question, instead rattling off facts, denouncing Bondi as the worst attorney general ever and demanding her resignation. He declared, "You protect and support criminals who plunder our society and what is left of our rule of law." When asked by a Democrat, all victims in the room indicated by a show of hands that they had offered their testimonies to the Justice Department, which had reportedly refused. Almost all Republicans on the committee treated Bondi with kid gloves. One Republican eventually inquired about the Epstein files, asking about the redaction of perpetrators' names versus the unredacted victim names. The Attorney General maintained that they had done their best and made corrections retroactively when informed of issues. When asked if anyone else would be charged, Bondi responded, "We have ongoing investigations," a statement that contradicted previous government assertions that the Epstein case was closed. Representative Jared Moskowitz's presentation underscored how much the administration had floundered on the Epstein matter in recent months. He noted that Federal Bureau of Investigation Director Kash Patel had testified under oath in Congress that there was no evidence of a sex ring, yet the documents revealed the opposite, detailing smuggled girls from Poland, Russia, and France. According to Maxwell, 29 individuals had struck secret deals with the Justice Department, but only 6 names were made available. Representatives had earlier complained that these names of well-known individuals had been unnecessarily redacted and threatened to release them independently. Moskowitz further stated that Patel had claimed President Trump's name appeared fewer than 100 times in the files. Moskowitz quipped, "We now know it appears more often than God's name in the book about God. So, in Trump's Bible." This drew some laughter in the room. He added, "And more often than Harry Potter's name in all 7 Harry Potter books." Stay tuned for more updates on this developing story. This video was generated using artificial intelligence. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more updates. See you next time.